As the running of the Kentucky Derby approaches, there you see Anthony Davis. He's the one not wearing a sport coat or a tie. He's the one in short sleeves holding the garland of roses. He and his teammates from the NCAA champion Kentucky Wildcats are here. They'll be part of the presentation. So one group of champions, Tom, will soon crown another. The 138th run for the Roses is upcoming. Let's go back to Tom.
All right, Bob, and Union Rags continues as the favorite to win the Roses. Anything you noticed during the warm-up?
Yeah, Hansen became very perturbed. He actually broke post-parade. He's sweating so much with his white skin. He almost looks pink on his chest right now because he was so hot.
And something I noticed throughout the afternoon, there have been 7 earlier dirt races. People are always wondering how the track is playing. We've had a wire-to-wire winner. We've had come-from-behinders. The inside might be just a little bit deeper, but all in all, it's a very fair racing surface.
And Union Rags is a horse that sweats a lot. He's a sweater, so it's not unusual to see him on a hot day, especially sweating, and that's a normal course of events for him.
Bodemeister, for the least experienced horse in the race, when he walked on the track, they were playing My Old Kentucky Home. He handled himself like the old veteran. He acted like he had heard this before. So a good sign what I'm seeing here. Either that or bad. We'll tell you after the race if it was a good sign or not.
And let's get Donna's observations out on horseback.
Well, Tom, they're hot. They're all hot, and so they should be. It's very, very warm out here today. But Gary made a good observation. Hansen's not only hot, he's aggravated. When he ran in the Gotham Stakes and won, he was very mild-mannered in the post-parade, which wasn't like him. And then we saw him last time out in the Bluegrass Stakes get wound up. He finished second. He still ran well, but didn't run his best. I don't think we're going to see his best from him today. Plus, we have Trinibird breaking from that number 9 post position. We know he's going to be in front with Willie Martinez up. Hansen's got a lot of new things he has to face today, Tom.
All right, as they load into the gate, let's give you a last look at the odds. Where Union Rags is 9-2, Bodemeister now 5-1, so very close. Hansen 14-1, Gemologist 8-1 as they continue to load into the starting gate. 20 horses, which means an auxiliary starting gate. And Michael Matz, who won the Derby in 2006 with Barbaro, watches his colt Union Rags being led into the gate. The owner, Phyllis Wyeth, who had the dream, had to have the horse back. She paid nearly 3 times what she sold him for initially to get him back. Bob Baffert, we talked about what his thoughts might be. He has 2 horses, Liaison on the outside, and Bodemeister, named for his 7-year-old son. Dr. Kendall Hansen, the owner of Hansen, the white horse. As they load into the gate, Larry Colmus with the call.
All in line and ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby. And as expected, Trinibird had a great start. Gemologist is also out quickly. Hansen is in between horses and Bodemeister is down on the inside. And now Bodemeister's ahead of Trinibird. Bodemeister and Trinibird will lead that charge to the first turn at Churchill Downs. Daddy Longlegs, Hansen. Oh, Hansen's hard to control early. Gemologist is 5th on the outside. I'll Have Another is next. And Calvin Burrell is right on the rail with Take Charge Indy as they move into the turn. And then it's Daddy Knows Best. On the far outside, Liaison. Creative Cause, Optimizer along the rail. Between those two is Dullahan. And then it's Alpha, followed by Saber Cat. Rousing Sermon to the inside. Perspective went the day well. Union Rags is 3rd last early. He is 18th onto the backstretch ahead of Done Talking and the trailer El Padrino. 45-1. Oh, they're flying up the backstretch. And Bodemeister's in front. He's on front by a length and a half. Trinibird on the outside is second by another 2 lengths. Hansen is in 3rd. Take Charge Indy gets that rail trip in 4th as they head for the turn. He's 5 lengths off the lead. Gemologist is next. Then I'll Have Another. Liaison is on the outside. Union Rags is down at the rail. He's in traffic. Union Rags in a lot of trouble on the far turn. He's boxed in. Bodemeister on the lead as they round the far turn. Trinibird is 2nd. Hansen is 3rd. I'll Have Another. Creative Cause moves up on the far outside. But it's Bodemeister at the top of the stretch. And Bodemeister's got a 5-length lead. I'll Have Another on the outside. Now has moved into 2nd. And then down toward the outside, Creative Cause. Bodemeister holding on to the lead. I'll Have Another on the outside is closing in. I'll Have Another collars Bodemeister. Dullahan on the far outside. Here's the wire. I'll
Wow, I'll have another. Doug O'Neill accepting the hugs all around, owned by J. Paul Redham, who is a staunch supporter of thoroughbred racing. This is a horse that won the Santa Anita Derby by a nose after not racing from February 4th when he won the Robert Lewis as a 40-to-1 shot. Came back in the Santa Anita Derby, won it by a nose. The first win in history for post position 19 in the Kentucky Derby. And in his first Kentucky Derby ride, Mario Gutierrez, who was based at Hastings Park in Vancouver, went to Southern California. The owner, Redham, said to Doug O'Neill, let's try Mario, and in his first try wins the Kentucky Derby. Wow.
I've been asked all week long, probably more than any other question, what about Mario Gutierrez in his first Derby win? Will he freeze up? This kid's got ice water running through his veins. No, he hasn't made any mistakes since the Santa Anita Derby, before the Santa Anita Derby, in the San Felipe Stakes, and another great ride today.
What a job from the far, or the next to the far outside, post position 2. Post 19, tactically, not an easy spot for this horse because he has enough speed to be a stalker. He came from pretty far back in the pack today.
And Donna is next to Mario.
I am next to Mario, and I can tell he's already overtaken with emotion. Mario, you're just came off a Santa Anita win with this horse. Your first Kentucky Derby, you get the win. How special is this?
I don't know what to say. Thanks to Mr. Redham for the first time he saw me in Santa Anita and gave me the opportunity to ride this horse. It's an amazing horse. So thanks to him, Doug O'Neill, all his connections, the grooms, everything. Everybody do such a great job with him. My family in Mexico, I know they were cheering for me. I know they were pushing me. I know that's what I got there. My beautiful second family for Vancouver. I know Hastings was pushing me. I know they got me to the wires. Thank you.
So you feel like people in Mexico were rooting for you, people in Hastings, Canada were rooting for you. You just felt like you had support from all over the world.
I know since I made this course, all my family in Mexico, friends, Vancouver is being so supportive. They keep sharing for me, emails and everything. Doug O'Neill, his connections, Mr. Redham, Mrs. Redham.
Mario, you thanked everybody but the horse. What an amazing race from him today.
He's an amazing horse. I'm sorry, but he's just an amazing. I keep telling everybody since the first time I met him, I knew he was the one. I knew he was good. All the criticisms, they didn't believe he couldn't made it this far. I said in an interview, even if they got me to pick for the whole rest of the film, I would stay with him 100%, no doubt about it.
Thank you, Mario. Well done. As you can tell, I think that this is a special victory for him, Tom.
Can you imagine? Mario Gutierrez, Mexican native, was riding in the small-time circuit up in Canada, just 25 years old. Went to Southern California. J. Paul Redham, the owner of I'll Have Another, watched him run, said to Doug O'Neill, let's try this young rider. Well, he has made some personal history here. His first Grade 1 win, that's the highest class of racing in America, was the Santa Anita Derby. He follows that up with a win in the biggest race in the country. I'll Have Another. After Bodemeister had set the 5 fastest splits in Derby history.
Yeah, that was the key, the draw here, because Mario Gutierrez, he was able to stay away from this fast pace out there. He didn't get the horse involved. That's the beauty of this horse. He is quick from the starting gate, and Mario is allows him to drop back and make this run, and it's a resolute run from the head of the stretch. You can see Bodemeister getting wobbly-legged, getting a little bit tired right now, and you see I'll Have Another just getting his best stride, Randy.
And I know there is surprise in a lot of people's eyes that Bodemeister went out there head-to-head with Triniberg, the sprinter in the front end, through those fast tractions. We were wondering what the tactics were going to be for Bodemeister, but they went right for the jugular, and what a good race Bodemeister ran in defeat to hang on like he did.
Doug O'Neill, the trainer of I'll Have Another. Let's listen to his reaction.
Time, here's the wire.
So Doug O'Neill with his first Derby victory. His brother Dennis picks out most of these horses and did with I'll Have Another, picked him out at the sales. So an unlikely team. Dennis O'Neil, Doug O'Neil, Mario Gutierrez winning it for J. Paul Reddam. I'll Have Another. And he might not be a cookie this time. It might be something stronger.
Well, Tom, when Mario Gutierrez came to the barn to get on I'll Have Another for the very first time earlier this year, he rode him in a workout. He got off the horse. He told his agent, boy, I like this horse. And the agent looked at him and said, oh, kid, you'll never be able to ride I'll Have Another. They'll never let you on this one. And look at him now.
That's another story. His agent is 87-year-old Ivan Puich, who hadn't been doing anything. Mario Gutierrez wanted to go back to Hastings Park. He was homesick. They had to convince him he was staying, that he was going to ride a Derby Contender.
And I'll Have Another brought his good luck charm to Churchill Downs, Tom. Lava Man.
Lava Man.
It made over $5 million in his racing career. He was one of the most popular horses in America 4 or 5 years ago. They decided to turn him into a pony to accompany I'll Have Another to the starting gate. For the first time, they did it at the Santa Anita Derby. Lava Man was all wound up, but they did it anyway, and I'll Have Another won, and so they shipped Lava Man along with I'll Have Another to Churchill Downs. You saw in the post parade, Lava Man, the pony, had to have a pony. He thought he was racing.
Lava Man, a Hall of Fame horse, as Randy said, earned over $5 million, the greatest claim in history, and now finding a second career as a lead pony to accompany the thoroughbreds to the post. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
Bob, is it possible to be prouder of a horse who runs second than even some of your victories, given the hellacious splits that Bodemeister put up today?
Well, you know, the way he ran today, I don't have any complaints. I mean, you know, other than not winning it, usually when I run second, I'm upset, but he ran. I mean, he showed what a brilliant horse he is, and the winners, Paul Reddam, Doug O'Neil, you know, they deserve it. You know, Paul Reddam, he's a great owner for the game, and I'm just really proud of the way he ran. I mean, he showed up today. I told Mike Smith, if he breaks well and he feels like running, you can win it. So, and you know, he did. He just came up a little tired after those splits, but you know what? That's the way he wanted to run, and I think it went well.
All right, Bob.
Thank you.
Bob Baffert, second in the race. Here's Ken Rice.
All right, Doug O'Neil, the first Kentucky Derby victory. You came in here with a horse that had only run 3 times now since September. What did you see in him when he was a 43-1 shot back to the first of this year?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, that race really surprised me, and Mr. Paul and his wife Zilla Reddam wanted to try that spot out to see if we had a Derby candidate, and I'm so glad they did. And then he came back and repeated in Santa Anita Derby, and just Southern California, baby. This is beautiful, but Southern California is beautiful too.
Well, you saw something in him a long time ago. Like we talked about earlier, he was modestly priced. Not everyone was interested in I'll Have Another, but what did you see in the growth of him coming up from Santa Anita's victory till now?
Well, we buy a lot of horses that we see growth in that never turn out. So you just never know. You do the right things, and sometimes injuries happen, and sometimes you just don't get lucky. But this colt, he had a little shin issue after a Saratoga race. Stopped on him. The Reddam said, give him all the time in the world. We did, and he came back, and he's 3 for 3 this year. And Maryland, here we come, baby.
And what were you thinking when they come down the stretch in a terrific run by Bodemeister? You're trying to catch him.
Oh, I know. I was like, God, is that Mario Gutierrez or Calvin Burrell? I mean, we had the man. He was just so confident, just rode such a brilliant race. And this is my son, Daniel. Daniel, what are we getting now?
A hot tub!
I promise we get him a hot tub. Yeah, so he's all fired up about that. Yeah, you always need hot tubs in warm Southern California. We don't get into that. Everyone does, yeah.
I'm thinking exactly hot tub right now in this weather, sweating down here.
Thank you, son. It's incredible, and I just, man, I can't explain how excited I am, and I'm just so jazzed, and the Reddams are awesome, their whole team, Jamie McCollum, Eddie Freeman, the whole clan, we're so pumped.
All right, Doug, congratulations. See you in Maryland.
Yeah, here we go.
I'll have another. I say they'll have another and another and another tonight, Tom.
I think so. A colt by Flower Alley from Arch's gal, Edith by Arch, Reading, Kentucky by Harvey Clark. I'll Have Another. He went from 43-1 winning the Robert Lewis to a nose victory at the Santa Anita Derby, and then on the first Saturday in May he etches his name in the record books, as does Mario Gutierrez, winning his first ride in the Kentucky Derby. Stay tuned now for the full race replay, sponsored by Pacific Life, when we come back.
The 138th running of the Kentucky Derby, presented by Yum Brands, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. By Pacific Life, Choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. By Stella Artois, she is a thing of beauty. And by Yum Brands, proud presenting sponsor of the 138th Kentucky Derby.
For more coverage of this 138th Kentucky Derby, head back over to the all-new NBC Sports Network for the Derby post-race show. Doug O'Neill, who's based in Southern California. He used to train in the mornings and work for the phone company after hours, laying phone lines, celebrating his biggest moment in the thoroughbred world, a victory in the Kentucky Derby. As California trainers run 1-2, Bob Baffert watching with his wife Jill, his 7-year-old son Bodie, for whom Bodemeister was named record of 5th fastest fractions in Derby history, but unable to hold on as I'll Have Another charges to victory. It was a wild scene after the Santa Anita Derby with a couple of hundred in the winner's circle. Looks a little more sedate now as we join Bob Costas.
Well, Tom, it still is a very large group gathered here at the cupola, which includes Bill Carstanjen, who is the president of Churchill Downs Incorporated and the First Lady and Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Pardon me, Mrs. Beshear, while I step in front here and speak with the governor, Steve Beshear, who will make the presentation to the winning owner, J. Paul Reddam.
You know, Kentucky is proud to be the horse capital of the world. We're proud to be the home of the 2012 men's basketball champion Kentucky Wildcats. And today we're proud to have hosted the best 2 minutes in horse racing and won by a Kentucky bred I'll Have Another.
Things are good in Kentucky these days.
Things are great in Kentucky and just getting better. To Paul and Zilla Reddam, congratulations. What a great race.
Thank you.
As a former philosophy professor at USC, which of the great philosophers summed up a day like this best?
Ludwig Wittgenstein, when he said that after all philosophical problems are solved, nothing of importance will have been accomplished. So we got into horse racing.
I guess that sums it up. An additional reaction?
You know, it was just, I was just kind of numb through the whole race and blinked my eyes and it was over. And this team has just been terrific. Doug, Dennis, Mario, we couldn't be in finer hands, and we're just so happy for everybody who also works behind the scenes in the O'Neill operation. What a great crew he has, so we thank them.
Well, let's hear from trainer and jockey both as we head over to Lafitte Pincay III.
Yeah, Bob, here with two of the happiest gentlemen on the planet. Doug O'Neill, winning trainer, Mario Gutierrez. Mario, how are you able to administer such a clutch ride your first try in the Derby?
Well, it's all about the horse. He's such a professional trainer. It wasn't that about it. He was going to give me 100%, like I keep saying. He's so professional for his age. So I just focus and I try to prepare to be the same as him. And it was easy. Like he's a pretty cool horse. And I just pulled me all the way to the wire.
Doug, on the walkover, you said you were a C student. Not bad for a C student. You're now a Kentucky Derby winning trainer.
Unbelievable. Lafitte, I can't believe it. And I got some good friends here, too. My man, Josh, who fought for our country here. He's a Marine. He's a man. He's here. And a good friend I just met here a few days ago, a girl named Hope. She's with us. And just got to thank the Reddams, my beautiful wife, Lynette. I'll be here all day if I start thanking people. But it's just an incredible feeling.
What's going through your mind when Doulahan unleashes that wicked late kick coming at you very late?
Where's the wire? I can't swear. I would swear a little bit, but yeah, Mario looked like Calvin Burrell coming down the stretch there, and he was just so confident. And from Mexico to Hastings to Kentucky Derby, pretty sweet.
At what point did you know I'll Have Another had brought his A game and he had a legit shot to win this Derby?
You know, in the paddock, it's so hot today, and he was on his toes, but never sweated up at all, and we were all just. We got more confident as we watched him in the paddock handle things. He's just such a mature colt, and you know, at that point, I had such a good feeling because he's trained so good, and his 2 races this year have been so incredible. So I can't believe he did it.
Congratulations, gentlemen. We'll see you in Baltimore. Let's go back to Bob Costas.
All right, Lafitte, we've been saying all day leading up to this 138th running of the Kentucky Derby that it was a very deep field, that fully half the field had a legitimate shot. Not a long shot, but a legitimate shot. I'll Have Another was in that group at 15-1, and he wins the Run for the Roses. First-time win for the owner. First-time win for the trainer. For Mario Gutierrez, first Derby win and his first ever Derby mount. I'll have another. Can he live up to his name? The first test comes in 2 weeks at the Preakness. Tom?
And Bob, there's nothing quite like seeing first-time Derby winners enjoy the moment.
It's so nice to see Paul Reddam win the Derby, but now we look at it analytically. 1.25 miles, 201.83, not exceptionally fast for this racetrack surface. I was especially impressed with Bodemeister to hang on as well as he did running on the inside part of the racetrack, which probably wasn't the best place to be. A couple of other horses, Calvin Burrell's horse, Take Charge Indy, and Daddy Longlegs, were last and next to last, having run on the rail. I think Bodemeister will be the favorite when we get to Pimlico for the Preakness without Triniberg to have to deal with, and I think he'll be the horse to beat.
Well, I know that we have to respect the winner. I'll have another. He's going to have the fans behind him. He's only lost 2 times. Those were both last year after traveling cross country. He hasn't been beat since then. He thinks he's unbeatable, and he's got the right style. This horse has got speed. He should be able to handle everything. We already know he handles the big crowds. It's going to be interesting to see what we have. Let's hope that they both aren't too tired from today's efforts, and we get to see a rematch in a couple of weeks.
And I'll have another also goes into the Preakness fresh. Yeah. With only races in February and April, and now the Kentucky Derby.
Neither horse has been raced much at all, so they should have plenty left in the tank as they head over to Baltimore. And of course, I was struck by Mario Gutierrez. What a story for him, from the minor league, so to speak, to the big time, winning the Kentucky Derby and becoming the first rookie Derby rider to win since Stuart Elliott back in 2004. So don't forget, for more Derby coverage, head over to the NBC Sports Network for our post-race show. And coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. And tonight at 11:30, 10:30 Central, it's an all-new Saturday Night Live with host Eli Manning and musical guest Rihanna. So Bodemeister, in only his 5th career start, sets fast early fractions, but tires in the stretch, and I'll have another comes charging.